If you are buying a rural property in Prince George or you already own one, this is the video that you did not know you needed. Today we're talking about septic systems for rural properties from A to Z, the major things to watch out for, and the top preventive maintenance items to keep your system running brand new all year long. Let's get into it. To understand what's at stake, let's look at the numbers, because a septic system failure out here is not a minor inconvenience. We're talking 15 to 35 grand minimum, and on complex lots, numbers well past 60,000. And the part that stings the most, the majority of those failures are completely preventable. Basic knowledge and simple maintenance routine will save you a lot of headache. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how your system works, how to protect it from a Prince George winter, and warning signs that something is already going wrong. Stay with me because the winterization section alone is something most homeowners get completely backwards. To prevent those failures, we need to look underground. Let's start with the basics, because once you understand how the system actually works, the maintenance advice later is going to make a lot more sense. Your septic tank is an underground chamber, typically made from concrete, fiberglass, or high-density polyethylene. That functions as a primary biological processor. Every time you flush a toilet or run water down a drain, that wastewater flows into the tank. Inside it, it naturally separates into three distinct layers. The heavy organic solids sink to the bottom and form what's called the sludge layer. The fats, oils, and soaps float to the top and form the scum layer. And in the middle, you have a zone of clarified liquid, that's the effluent, which eventually flows out of your drain field for final treatment in the soil. Here's the key thing to understand. Anaerobic bacteria live inside the tank and slowly break down the organic solids. They do the biological heavy lifting for free, but only if you maintain the right balance between those three layers. If you neglect the tank and let the sludge layer build up too high, solid waste escapes into the drain field, and once that happens, you are dealing with a very expensive problem. And your environment plays a massive role in how this system survives. Now let's talk about Prince George specifically, because our climate creates challenges you simply will not find in other markets in BC. We are a sub-zero territory for a significant chunk of the year, and a lot of the region has high clay content soil. Clay holds moisture and compacts easily. That combination drives the frost line down to depths of 5 to 8 feet in some areas. That means your septic lines in your tanks are generally at risk of freezing if you are not taking the right steps. So how do you actually protect your system from the cold? Here's the number one mistake I see homeowners make every winter. They shovel the snow off the area above their tank and drain field to keep the yard tidy. That sounds logical, but snow is actually acting as a natural insulator, a geothermal blanket keeping ground temperatures warmer underneath. The moment you remove it, you allow frost to penetrate deep into the soil and potentially freeze your delivery line solid. The fix is to leave the snow alone over those areas. On top of that, let the grass over your drain field grow tall going into autumn. That extra height traps snow naturally and adds another layer of insulation. And if you want to be proactive about it, apply a 10 to 12 inch layer of straw mulch over the drain field before the deep freeze hits. That combination significantly reduces your freezing risk. One more thing on freezing though, if your system does freeze, do not let anyone use an open flame to thaw it. Septic tanks produce methane gas. An open flame thawing near a tank is a serious explosion hazard. A professional using a steam jetter is the only safe method for dealing with a frozen system. Moving past winterization, routine maintenance is your best defense. Now let's talk about the pumping, because this is where most homeowners either save themselves a lot of money or unknowingly create a very expensive problem down the road. In British Columbia, the standard recommendation is to have your septic tank professionally pumped every 3 to 5 years. The exact timing depends on the size of your tank and how many people are living in the home. A 3-bedroom house with a family of 4 is going to fill it up faster than the same house with 1 person in it. Your service provider can help you dial in the right schedule for your specific situation. One thing worth knowing though is the difference between a complete pump out and what is called selective emptying. Complete emptying removes absolutely everything from the tank, including all the active bacteria. That sounds thorough, but it is actually not recommended for a working system. Those bacteria are what make the whole thing function. Selective emptying leaves a few inches of active sludge at the bottom of the tank as a biological seed. That way, the anaerobic digestion process restarts immediately after the service. Complete pump outs are really only appropriate for holding tanks or cesspools where active biological digestion is not part of the design. But remember, the tank is only the first stage. Now let's talk about your drain field, because this is where permanent cost failure actually happens. Your drain field is the network of buried pipes and soil that receives the clarified effluent from your tank and filters it naturally through the ground. Over time, a layer of anaerobic bacteria called the biomat forms along the bottom and sides of the drain field trenches. A thin biomat is actually healthy. It helps filter pathogens. But when solids escape the tank and that biomat gets too thick, it seals the soil interface completely. Water has nowhere to go, and when that happens, you are looking at a failed drain field. Replacing a drain field in Prince George is not cheap. You're looking at a minimum of $15,000 to $35,000 for a standard system, and significantly more if your lot requires an engineered alternative like a sand mound or pressure distribution system. To protect that massive investment, you need to know exactly what to avoid. The good news is this failure is largely preventable if you are careful about what goes into the system. Here are the things that will absolutely destroy your septic system over time. Flushable wipes. They don't break down the way the label implies, and they clog pipes and destroy bacterial colonies. Cooking grease and oils. They solidify inside the tank and the lines. And then harsh chemical drain cleaners. They kill the beneficial bacteria your system depends on. And garbage disposals should be used sparingly or not at all on a septic system. They push a heavy load of organic solids into the tank that the bacteria cannot process quickly enough. Also, keep heavy vehicles completely off the drain field area. Soil compaction from truck or equipment traffic crushes the dispersal pipes underground. And be careful about large trees planted near the field. Root intrusion is one of the most common issues of buried pipe failure. Even with the best habits, you need to stay vigilant. So how do you know if something is already going wrong? The warning signs of a drain field saturation are actually pretty specific once you know what to look for. You will notice water ponding on the lawn above the drain field, often in the same consistent spot after rain or heavy water use. Your drains inside the house will start running slower. You may smell sewage odor outside, particularly near the tank or dispersal area, and you might hear gurgling sounds in your plumbing when water drains. When you notice any of these signs, the clock is ticking. If you're seeing any of those signs, the time to call a professional is right now, not in a few weeks. Early intervention options like hydrojetting to clear the lateral pipes or biological biomat remediation using specialized bacteria are significantly cheaper than full replacement. Hydrojetting typically runs $200 to $1,400 or more. Biological remediation is $2,500 to $6,000, and compare that to a full drain field replacement of $15,000 to $35,000 or more. The math is very clear. Act early. And whether you're dealing with an inspection right now or just entering the market, I'm here to help. Navigating the Prince George market doesn't have to be stressful. I have a seller's guide if you're planning to list, relocation guide for anyone moving to Prince George, and if you are looking to buy and want more tailored information, ask for my home buyers program. On top of a buyer's guide, I'll send you exclusive weekly videos and emails to walk you through the process step by step. Just comment the word guide below, tell me which one fits your situation, and I'll send the link right over. And if you're ready to actually look at homes or list your property, the easiest way is to call, text, or email. All those details are in the description, and my number's on the screen. All those details are right here. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.